Hello, it's Chris from My Stamp Lady, and I am here with the Spooktacular Bash from Stampin' Up. This is a stamp set, and it coordinates with this Ornate Frames die set. So I'm going to show you a really fun project that you can make now for Halloween. I will also be using this stylish scroll embossing folder. I will be using a black and a crushed curry ink pad and a few of the blends. So here's the project to show you. We'll get started with this project, and I'm going to show you how I did this, including how I got this background piece here, which it kept me puzzled at first, but then I was able to get it. I am going to start with the focal piece because I want it to glue it together and then to let it set up before I have to wrap it around the pillow box. So to start, I have the tuxedo, the Memento Tuxedo Black. Have this little lovely vampire here, and moving that around the pad. Okay, so then we're going to stamp this onto the white, and it doesn't matter if I'm centered because I'm going to be die cutting that. So on the black, we're going to also put down the creepy, and then we'll cut that out. So ink that up, stamp that, and then I can die cut. I like to try to die cut as many things as possible in one pass. So from my dies, I am going to use this particular frame, and we're going to use this frame here. And here's the little secret part. So I was really puzzled because here's the die for how I cut. Let me pull this back in, this piece here, and as you can see, it's twice as large. So what I ended up doing with this is, here is my piece of cardstock or paper. This is the Designer Series paper. I'm going to place this on my platform. I'm going to make sure I'm not over this far side of the die. So it's going to be hanging off. So when I run this through my die cutting machine, I'm going to make sure that that is hanging off over the edge like that. Just to be sure that doesn't move while I'm running that through, I am going to be using a magnetic platform, but just to make sure that doesn't move, I'm going to tape that down. Okay, so here's my vampire, and I have my little creepy tag, and then pulling in that last little piece. So I made sure that that was not underneath, and then I'm just going to take this up. And then when I am done with that, you open it up, and there you have that full-size piece to use as my background. I also need a frame, and I forgot to run that through my Big Shot, so I am going to just run that through. When you have a lot of detail like this particular frame, I like to run it through at least a couple of times. When I'm coloring, I will often do my cutting first and then color, just so that if for some reason I mess up with them when I'm cutting, that I don't lose my entire project. So I'm using Daffodil Delight, Real Red, and Pumpkin Pie. I am using the alcohol markers, the blends. I love how it gives a nice even coloring, and you can even do some more fancy blend work, but I'm just going to color these. And so this is Daffodil Delight, and I'm using the darks of all these colors. So the last color I used there was Pumpkin Pie. Now I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive, and I am just going to glue these together. This is the Tombow. And I am using the liquid adhesive so that it has a nice strong hold, because when I get to that pillow box and I form it out, it's going to have a little bit of curve to it. So we want to have a nice strong hold. And then we'll just layer this on top of that piece that I cut with that die and did that double cut. On the little tag, I'm just going to punch a little hole. I did pull in some of the retired basic black just because twine, because it worked so well here. I love this stuff. And so this is one of the things I'm asking Stampin' Up! To please bring back. I used a ton of the basic black twine. My next step, I'm going to make a little belly band to wrap around the pillow box. The pillow boxes come pre-made. It's all set to go, and I am going to just make a belly band. Now, I needed an 1 3/4 inch by 8 inch piece, and you'll notice that it's too long. So I'm just going to do it in 2 passes. I'm going to run it through once, move my paper, and run it through again. Okay, so there's my first pass, and then just to get that last little bit, okay, so I'm just turning it around and I'm going to run that little bit through again. Okay, so now I have this beautiful stylish scroll embossed belly band, and I have been using this pattern for so many things. You don't only have to use it for Halloween, even though it's pictured with the Halloween stuff. So now I wanted to add a little bit of yellow, crushed curry. I thought the white, when I put it all together, I wasn't crazy about the white. So what I did is I just took a sponge dauber and some of my crushed curry and just dabbed it into the crushed curry and then gave it a quick color with the dauber. And I did the back ahead of time, so now once this side dries, I will have a crushed curry pillow box. So now what you do is you're just going to form it. So let's just push down the top there and the bottom, oops, and then do the other side. There's already scored, it's ready to go on those lines for you. Super easy to form this box. It comes in a package with, I'm gonna guess about 10. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember off the top of my head how many it was. Okay, so now my next step is to just wrap this around the front here, and I'm gonna have it meet on the front. And you could measure and score it, but I just tend to kind of just guess. I just wrap it around and meet it up. So I just want it to be covered by the my topper piece. And if I make that meet at the top, then I don't have to worry about there being a seam showing on the back. Okay, so let's just put that down, and I'm going to hold that for just a second to let that set up. I can take this off for now while I'm working on this part. So let's just add some adhesive over this, some of that glue, and then we'll glue this down. Just center that. Okay, and I like to hold that just for a second, and if you want to do something else, you can just set something on top of that while it's drying. Now I have a length of the scalloped edge black ribbon, and I could have wrapped it around the entire box, but I decided just to take a little length of it and make a bow. So I'm just making the 2 bunny ears, as some people call it, or loops, and wrapping them around each other, adjusting my bow so I have it how I want it to look. Once I have that where I want that, I'm just going to trim off the ends, and I'm going to take that little creepy tag, and I'm actually going to just tie it around the middle of the knot here, and so that's how I will attach this. Okay, now I can just trim off those. So just slide this back on. There we go. And then I'm going to use mini glue dots. Just put a couple of those behind the knot, and we'll tuck that right in there. And that is how you get that larger piece to make this really fun pillow box ready to go for some treats. And the nice thing is that you don't have to wreck it to open to get your treats out, or a gift card if you have a gift for somebody, but you can just refill and reuse. You can find a full blog post about this on my blog at mystamplady.com. Thanks for watching.